Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We got the final game of this three-game series between the Chicago Cubs and Florida Marlins. Leading off for the Chicago Cubs is shortstop Ernie Banks, batting second, playing second Sandberg, batting third, playing right field is Sosa, batting fourth, playing center field's Dawson, batting fifth, playing first base is Rizzo, batting sixth, playing third base is Santo. Batting seventh, playing left field is Durham. Batting eighth, on the catching is Davis. And batting ninth and on the mound is Kyle Hendricks. Now for the hometown Florida Marlins. Leading off, playing second base is Castillo. Batting second, playing left field is Colligan. Batting third, playing shortstop is Ramirez. Batting fourth, playing right field is Sheffield. Batting fifth, playing center field is Ozona. Batting sixth, playing first base is Bohr. Batting seventh, playing third base is Pedro. Batting eighth, doing the catching is Riamoto. And on the mound, doing the pitching is Carl Pavano. Let's get down here to the field and get this game started. As Philip Reynolds joins us here today. Check out his great channel. Happy New Year to you too, Philip, buddy. And Ernie Banks to lead it off. He's 0 for 4 early in the year. And Carl, this is his first start of the year. What happened here? Where's he at? There it is. And in 2004, he was 18-8 with a 3 ERA. Here's the first pitch to Banks. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Ernie out to start this game off. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the first. And that brings up Sandberg. And Ryan's batting .250 with a homer and an RBI. And that's going to be against the righty and 11. It's going to be a single infield hit for Sandberg. So he's on with 1 out here in the top of the first. And brings up Sammy Sosa now. And Sammy's batting .286. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Sammy. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left for out number 2. So it's going to be up to the Hawk, Andre Dawson. Try to do something with Ryan at second. Ryan might take off and try to get down at first. Ryan might take off and try to get down to second. That would be a 28. And I think he's taking off 54 and lower. He's going to be in there safely, and they throw him out by a country mile. Ryan Sandberg gets caught stealing, and that's the end of the top of the first. Cubs, nothing. Marlins coming to bat. See Florida's upcoming schedule. They got a 4-game series here in Florida against the Milwaukee Brewers, and then they go on the road to take on the Phillies. Leading it off for the Marlins is Castillo, batting .286, no homers and an RBI. Kyle Hendricks making his first start of the year. And Kyle in 2016 had a 2.13 ERA, and he was 16-8. Here's the pitch to Luis. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Rizzo. He takes it himself, calls off the pitcher, and that's 1 out. And now Chris Collins up. He's 0 for 3 on the year. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Kyle strikes him out for out number 2. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. And Hanley Ramirez is up now, batting .222 with a 1 RBI on the year. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Banks. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the top of the second. Still no score here. And Dawson, who was up the bat when Sandberg got thrown out, will lead it off here, followed by Rizzo and Santo. And the Hawk, like I say, .250 with a homer and 3 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. And that's a nice play out there by Chris. He robs a base hit from Dawson. So there's one out here in the top of the second. And Anthony Rizzo comes to the plate looking for his first base hit of the year. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And that'll be out number 2. And Ron Santos up. Ron, he's looking for his first base hit of the year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Sheffield and right. 1, 2, 3 goes the Cubbies. To the bottom of the second we go. Sheffield, Ozona, and Boardew up here. Gary batting .286, no homers and no RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Sheffield strikes out. That's Kyle's second strikeout of the game. And Ozona's up now. And he is batting .500 with 3 RBIs on the year. And that's going to be a back-to-back strikeouts for Kyle. Can he strike the side out? Boars up to the plate. And he is 0 for 4 on the year. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Kyle. He fires over to Anthony at first. 1, 2, 3 goes the Marlins. To the top of the third we go. And we got the bottom third of the order due up here for the Cubbies. Durham, Davis, and Hendricks. And Durham's batting .500 with a homer and an RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Fires across the diamond, gets on Durham. Here comes Jody Davis. And Jody's 0 for 2 on the year. And he's going to be 0 for 3. That's a ground ball down to Ramirez. 2 ground balls, 2 outs. Can Kyle Hendricks do something here? His first plate appearance of the year. And in 2016, he batted a .138 with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. 1, 2, 3 goes the Cubbies. And we go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. And we got the bottom part of the order due up here for the Marlins. Prado, Remoto, and Carl. And Prado is batting .300. No homers and 2 RBI. And that's going to be a comebacker. And that'll be out number 1. And JT's up now. And JT's batting .500 on the year with 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Sandberg. 2 quick outs here. And Carl, his first plate appearance, get a base hit here. And in 2004, he batted a .190, but he did have 2 homers and 6 RBIs, so he's got a little pop to him. And that's just a ground ball down the Sandberg. And another 1, 2, 3 inning. Still no score as we go to the top of the fourth and the top of the order due up here for the Cubbies. Banks, Sandberg, and Sosha. Ernie struck out his first time up. And Mr. Cub grounds out to second this time. 1 up, 1 down. And Sandberg got on his last time with a base hit and then got caught stealing back in the first. And that's going to be a 11. That's going to be a ground ball. Nice play by Ramirez. Takes a base hit away from Rhino. And that's quickly 2 outs. Sammy's up now. Nobody on. He flew out the left back in the first. And he gets a hold of this one. He drives that ball. That'll be a 17. And that's going to be a single in the right field. Gary gets over, cuts it off quickly. Holds Sammy to a single. That brings up Andre Dawson now. 2 outs and nobody on. And we got to fix Sammy's card here. I'll do a little behind the scenes here. Sammy's card's not ready. Don't have his steal in on here. So let's get this fixed here real quick. Cubbies. Sammy. Social. And a steal here. He's an E9. Is that right? So it is on there, okay. Alrighty, it was on there the whole time. Okay, back to the game. Sorry about that. So it was on there. So Sammy's going to be staying put. And here's the pitch to Dawson. And that's going to be against the righty, 15. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. And that'll win the inning. The Cubbies strand one. We go to the bottom of the fourth. The top of the order due up here for the Marlins in a 0-0 game. Castillo, Culligan, and Ramirez. And Luis is 0 for 1. He grounded out to first his first time up back in the first inning. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Dawson makes the catch. That'll be out number 1. You see Chicago's upcoming schedule. They leave here, go back to Chicago in a 4-game series against the Nationals. And Chris is 0 for 1 today. He struck out back in the first. And that's going to be a base on balls. So he trots on down to first. I think that's the first base runner for the Marlins here. Runner on first, and 1 out for Hanley Ramirez, who grounded out the short back in the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Dawson. 2 down. Runner still at first for Gary Sheffield. And Sheffield back in the second inning struck out. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Gary. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And comes back on a 2-0 count and strikes Sheffield out for the second time today. So the Marlins strand one to the top of the fifth in a 0-0 game. Anthony Rizzo will be followed by Juan Santo and the Bull Durham. And Anthony's 0 for 1. He grounded out the second. And not this time. That ball is driven down the first baseline. That'll be a double. Leadoff double by Rizzo. So he's down at second. Go ahead run with nobody out. Ron Santo's up now. And Santo flew out to right field his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left. Chris has got it. 42 and a 1. That'll be it ain't going nowhere, I don't believe. That'll be a 34. 34. See, I just don't see him going anywhere. He's going to stay put with 1 out. So it's a fly ball to the left. 1 down now. Can Durham do something here with a runner in scoring position? And he's 0 for 1. He grounded out the third back in the third. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. That ball is lifted in the left field. And that's going to be a double in the left center field. Azuna gets over there and gets to it. But 2 doubles, and now it's a 1-0 Cubbies lead. As Jody Davis comes to the plate now with a runner still in scoring position. 1 out. Jody grounded out the short back in the third. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Davis strikes out for out number 2. Carl's second strikeout of the game. Brings up Kyle now. And Hendricks grounded out the second back in the third. And we don't need no stinking DH. That's going to be a single in the right field with Durham's speed. He probably comes around the score here with 2 outs. Let's see here. That'll be a 56. That's a 33 plus a 17. He's going to score with no throw. So Kyle Hendricks says, we don't need no stinking DH and RBI single. Doubles your fun, double your pleasure, double the lead with double mint gum. So now it's 2-0. Ernie Banks is up now with a runner down at first and 2 outs. Ernie is struck out and grounded out. And that's going to be another strikeout. So Banks is 0 for 3, but the Cubbies score 2 in the top of the fifth, take a 2-0 lead. So we go to the bottom part of the inning, and you got Ozono, Barr, and Prado due up here. And you can see the team replay comparisons early in the year. The Cubbies 1-1, 20 strikeouts, 9 walks, 4 doubles, and a triple. Florida is also 1-1, 21 strikeouts, 10 walks, 10 doubles, and no triples. And here's the pitch to Ozona. And that's going to be a ground ball down the run at third. He fires over to first for out number 1. And Boer's up now. And Justin's 0 for 1 back in the second. He grounded out to the pitcher. And that's going to be another ground ball down the third. He might want to pick on somebody else. Ron's up with it, fires over to Rizzo. 2 up and 2 down. And see what Martin can do here. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. And that's going to be another ground ball down the third. So Ron sets a record held by many. 3 ground balls to Ron, 3 outs. We go to the top of the sixth and a 2-0 Cubbies lead. You got Sandberg due up, followed by Sosa and Dawson. And Ryan Sandberg's 1 for 2 with a single back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Sandberg strikes out to start this 6th inning. Bring Sammy up. Sammy singled. He's 1 for 2 back in the 4th. And that's going to be a 17. It's going to be a fly ball out the left. 2 outs here. And the Hawks up now. And Dawson's over 2. He's flown out the left both times up. And that's going to be a rare play, a 62 and a 40. And that's going to be 20. That's going to be hit out in front of the plate. Let's see here. And that's going to be a nice play. And JT's up with it. He fires down the first, and now to win the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th in a 2-0 game. JT just made that nice play. He'll lead it off. Carl's probably going to stay in the game here. And then we'll be back to the top of the order and Castilla. So here's the pitch to JT. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And Ron boots that one. That's going to be an E5. Now the Marlins with a run-on's got a decision to make here with Carl. See what they want to do here. Do they want to pitch hit for him or not? I think they're going to let him bunt him over. Going to try to bunt him over to second. He's going to stay in the game. He's really not pitched a bad game. They got to him a little bit in that 5th inning with those doubles, but they're going to let him stay in. He grounded out the second back in the 3rd. Can you get the bunt down? That's the question. And that's going to be a ball bunted down the first base line. Anthony's up with it. His only plays over to first with Sandberg covering. We'll get the runner in the scoring position here with 1 out. And we're back to the top of the order and Castilla. And Luis is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. This is going to be the first hit of the ball game for the Marlins. And that ball is driven into the gap in left center field. JT will score, and they cut the lead in half here, folks. It's now a 2-1 ball game. Still only one out. Runner in scoring position to tie this ball game up. Chris is up. He has struck out and walked. He's got to put the ball in play. And he has hit a fly ball in the center field. Dawson's got it. And Luis doesn't want to make the third out at third, so he'll stay put because a single is going to score him from second with his speed. Brings up Ramirez here. And Hanley's 0 for 2. He is grounded out and flown out. And he gets a hold of this. That ball is high. That ball is far. And that ball is off the wall. That's going to be another double. And it's going to tie this ball game up. He didn't quite get it in the sweet spot. But Ramirez doubles and ties this game up. It's 2 apiece. Now you got Gary Sheffield up. And Sheffield's 0 for 2. He has struck out twice today. Can they get the hat trick on him? Nope. That's going to be a base on balls. And all of a sudden, Kyle here struggling with 2 outs. Had a no-hitter going into this inning. And he's given up the no-hitter and the shutout. Now it's a tie ball game. First and second for Arizona. He is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Dawson to end the inning. But the doubles cost Kyle. And the Marlins have tied this ball game up at 2 apiece. We go to the top of the 7th. We got Rizzo, Santo, and Dorham due up here. Anthony's 1 for 2. He doubled in the 5th and came around to score. And that's going to be a 12. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 3rd. That'll be out number 1. A nice play down there by Martin. Robs Anthony of a base hit. He tried to go the other way with it. Ron Santos up now. Santos 0 for 2. He's flown out to the corners, left and right. And not this time. I'm just going to drop in. Gary can't get to it. That'll be a base hit in the right field. So the go-ahead run down at first. And Dorham's up the bull. And he doubled and drove in a run and came around the score back in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. And that's going to be a 12 and a 10. 12 and a 10 is going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. 26 and a 7. That'll be fielding column 1. And they'll get the runner out at 2nd. That'll be a 4-6 fielder's choice. Dorham's down at 1st now for Jody Davis. And Jody's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Davis out to end the inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 2-2. Kyle Hendrick comes out to start this 7th inning. He's due to lead off the 8th. See if he can get through this 7th inning. He's got the 6, 7, 8 hitters due up here. Bohr, Martin, and JT. Justin's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. And that's going to be a base on ball. So now the go-ahead runs down at 1st on a walk. And Martin's up here now. And he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Cubby's looking for that double play ball. And that's not going to get it done, that's for sure. It's going to be a... Wait, that is a ground ball down the 2nd. Can they turn 2? Nope. Nope. Martin beats the throw. It was close play, but that's a 4-6 put out. And JT's up now. JT hit a double, drove in. No, he had reached on an error and came around the score back in the 6th. Here's the pitch to JT. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on JT. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And we drop the dice. And that's going to be a fly ball out the Dorman left for out number 2. And we'll have a pitch hitter here for Carl. He goes 7 innings. See who's going to come out of the dugout here to pitch hit. The only true lefty on the bench is Gordon. Let's see here. I think they're going to go with the righty and Kevin Millar. He's got a little bit of a pop. That's who they're going with. Kevin's going to come off the bench here with 2 outs. See if he can deliver here. So Kevin comes off the bench, trying to give the Marlins a lead here. Where's Kevin at here? There's Kevin. So Kevin is batting .500 on the year. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. Can he deliver here for the Marlins? And that's going to be a deep fly ball out to center field. Dawson near the track makes the catch for out number 3. The Marlins strand 1. We go to the top of the 8th in a 2-2 ball game. See who's going to come out of the bullpen here to pitch for the Marlins. And you got the righty pitch hitter coming up. Banks, so it'll be a righty coming out of the bullpen. Then you got one lefty in the bullpen anyway. So let's see here. And Looper's going to come out of the bullpen. Try to keep this a tie ball game. This will be his first appearance of the year. And then 2002, he had a 3.14 ERA. He was 2-5 with 13 saves. He'll be facing a pitch hitter here for Kyle. Then back to the top of the order. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. All the lefties are in the game. Let's see here. Who do they want to go with? Glenn. I think that's who they're going with. Glenn's going to come out and try to get on base here. Let's see if Glenn can come out here. They don't have a lefty on the bench. So Glenn's going to come out of the dugout, try to get on base. He is batting .286 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. Here's the pitch to Glenn. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Castillo at second. And that'll be out number 1 here in the top of the 8th. 1 up and 1 down. We're back to the top of the order, and Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. And Mr. Banks is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Martin at third. Over to the Boer for out number 2. So it's up to Ryan Sandberg to keep this 8th inning going. He singled back in the first. He's 1 for 3. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Sandberg goes down on strikes. And that'll end the top of the 8th. It's still a 2-2 ball game. See who's going to come out of the bullpen here for the Cubs. You got the switch hitter, a lefty, and a righty. And Phil Regan's going to come out of the bullpen, the righty. Try to keep this a tie ball game. His first appearance of the year. And in 1968, He was 10-5 with 25 saves and a 2.20, 2.2 ERA. See what Phil can do here in the bottom of the eighth in a tie ball game. He'll be facing the top of the order, Castillo, Collin, and Ramirez. Luis is 1 for 3 with an RBI double back in the sixth, and he came around to score. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Anthony at first. He calls off the pitcher, takes it himself for out number 1. And that brings Chris up now. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out, walked, and flown out. And that's going to be against the righty, 17. And that's going to be a base hit, infield hit for Chris. And the go-ahead runs down at first. Hanley Ramirez is up now. And Ramirez is 1 for 3. He has an RBI double back in the sixth inning. And that's going to be a 2 balls and no strike count on him. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Can Sandberg make the play here? 55 and a 9. That will be fielding column 1. And that's going to be going to get the lead runner out at second. Sandberg on a nice play. Gets to it, fires over to Banks. And that'll be a 4-6 put out. Now there's 2 down. Gary Sheffield at the plate. And does Ramirez want to try to get in scoring position here? That would be a 24. I think he's going to take a chance here. 24, 46 or lower. He's going to try to make it down there. And they throw him out by a country mile. Hanley Ramirez gets thrown out by Jody Davis, fires down the second, and that'll end the 8th inning. And they go to the top of the 9th in a 2-2 ball game. You got the big boys due up here for the Cubbies. Sosa, Dawson, and Rizzo. Sammy's 1 for 3. He singled back in the 4th. And that ball is high. Kiss it goodbye. Sammy Sosa has just put the Cubbies up 3-2. Home run, Sammy Sosa. His second of the year, folks. And that brings up the Hawk. That'll get Bruce Sutter warming up in the bullpen. Bruce Sutter coming out of the bullpen probably at the bottom of the 9th. The Hawk, Andre Dawson's 0 for 3 today. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Looper bounces back from the home run, strikes Dawson out for out number 1. Anthony Rizzo's up now, and he's 1 for 3 with a double. Came around to score in the 5th. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second for out number 2. Now there's 2 down in a 3-2 ball game after the homer by Sammy. And Ron Santos up. He is 1 for 3. He singled back in the 7th. And that's going to be another strikeout. But the damage was done by Sammy with the home run. Makes it a 3-2 game. And Bruce Sutter is jogging out of the bullpen. He's going to come in this game, try to lock down his first save of the year. And in 1977, Bruce was 7-3, 31 saves with a 1.34 ERA. And he'll be facing the big boys for the Marlins, Sheffield, Ozona, and Bohr. Gary was up 1. Ramirez got thrown out trying to steal. Gary's 0 for 2. He has struck out twice and walked, has yet to put the ball in play. And that's going to be against the righty. That is going to be a fly ball. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bruce strikes him out for out number 1. We got to fix Bruce's card here. We got Bruce's card messed up. We don't have his fielding. So let's fix that. We just got him as being a pitcher. We don't have his fielding here. Bruce is a fielding 2 pitcher. So that should be a P2. And he's an X. KYZG. Fielding 2. And now let's get back to the ball game here. Alrighty, now we got that fixed. 1 out and nobody on for Ozuna. And he's 0 for 3. He struck out, grounded out, and flown out. And that's going to be back-to-back strikeouts. Can Bruce Sutter strike out the side? Split fingers working today, folks. Justin Bohr, he's 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice, walked back in the 7th. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Nice play down there by Banks, I think. Let's see. 21. Nope, he might boot this one. Yep, that's going to be an error by Ernie. That's an E6. So Justin's aboard here. Time run down at first. Bruce Sutter should be out of this game, but now the E6 by Mr. Cub brings up Martin. He's 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. And that's going to be a 2 balls and no count. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be a walk the hard way. So Sutter walks to go ahead, the tying run down the 2nd. Now the go-ahead run and winning runs down at first and 2nd, and he should be out of this game. The E6 biting them in the butt here. Marlins not giving up without a fight. JT's up. He's 0 for 3. He did reach on an error and came around the score in the 6th. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Sutter strikes out. All 3 outs or strikeouts in between an error and a walk. And that is your ball game, folks. The Cubbies win 3-2. At the box score. I didn't want to do that. It was a swing and a miss. Didn't want to do that. Okay. That's better. Take a look here at the box score. And the Cubbies, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. The Marlins, 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And Sammy Sosa was the man. 2 for 4 with the solo homer. Cubbies were 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Sammy with the home run. They only left 3 men on base. Marlins pitching staff did a damn good job. And the Marlins were 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They left 6 men on base. Kyle Hendricks gets a no decision. 7 innings, 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 4. Phil Regan comes in, gets the win. 1 inning, 1 hit. Bruce Sutter picks up his 2nd save of the year. And he walked 1 and struck out 3. And Carl gets a no decision. He pitches 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, struck out 5. And Brandon Looper picks up the loss. He's 0-1. 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, struck out 3, gave up the homer to Sammy. And now let's take a look here at the leaderboard and the standings. Got the Braves are 1-1. The Marlins are now 1-2, a half game back. The Cubbies and Reds are 2-1. The Brewers are 1-1, a half a game back. The Diamondbacks are 3-0. The Padres are 1-2, 2 games back, and the Rockies are 0-3, 3 games back. And Chris Bryant's leading the National League among two other batters with a 500 batting average. You got 4 players with 2 homers. Tony Gwynn with 5 RBIs to lead the National League. Of course, the pitchers right now with no ERA and 1 win apiece. Bruce Sutter's taking over the saves lead with that second save of the year. And you got Sammy Sosa now leading in the MVP category. And Randy Jones leading in the Cy Young. I want to thank Philip Reynolds for stopping by here today. Check out his great channel. And let's see what the next game will be here with these post-1961 Apba bats. It'll be an American League game. Let's see who it'll be. It looks like it's going to be the Tigers taking on the Devil Rays in Tampa Bay. And let's take a look and see what the pitching matchup will be for the Tigers and Devil Rays. How many game series is that? That's 1, 2. That'll be a 3 game series there. So let's take a look here at the pitching matchup. See who will be going for the Tigers here. And Danny McLean will be going for the Tigers. Let's see who will be going for Tampa Bay. And Snell. So it'll be McLean against Snell in that game, folks. Hope y'all join me for that. Till next time, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. And on your way out of Florida, hit that like button and leave a comment. Till next time, you all have a great day and take care.